Like, if I were Armsmaster dealing with this 15-year-old, I probably wouldn't do a great job of it. But if I were someone...
Welcome to Inchworm,
the podcast in which we are inching through worm. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ted.
This week we read Agitation 3.5.
Dun dun dun. Though it's a pretty short chapter.
Yes.
And not nearly as big of a cliffhanger as previous.
No, that's true. Mostly we just learned that Armsmaster sucks.
Armsmaster sucks.
He's the worst.
You heard it here first, but let me go into a little bit more detail.
All right, tell us what happened.
You think that? We last left Taylor. She had gone secretly to the top of the old ferry terminal for a clandestine meeting with Armsmaster, and she was uncertain if she, something seemed different about him, and she starts talking to him and wants to call in a favor, and then we get a brief, intense conversation that does not go at all like Taylor expected. No. So initially, she is really quickly just trying to fill him in, like, hey, I joined a villain team. And he's like, that doesn't make sense. You better have a good reason. And she's like, I think you have a lie detector, so believe me when I say I'm a good guy. And he's like, I believe that you think you're a good guy. And she says, okay, I'm doing this insinuation thing. And he's like, oh, okay, showing some initiative. Let's go to the Protectorate right now. And you can give a report. You can meet all the other Protectorate people. And Taylor's like, I can't. I need to do something else first, but I can't tell you what that is. And what Taylor's worried about is that if she says, I need to find out who their secret boss is, that might be specific enough that it could somehow tip off Tattletale.
Right.
So that's
why
she's...
she can't say that either.
Right. She's being really vague, and that's starting to annoy Armsmaster. And Armsmaster does figure out that Tattletale is probably the reason that she is so reticent. And Taylor's like a little worried about that, but, at least he figured it out on his own. She didn't, say anything in case that matters to Tattletale's power. So then Taylor finally gets around to her favor, which is... we have a job. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if I get arrested, I need you to bail me out.
Uh-huh.
And Armsmaster really doesn't like that. And he's like, what, are you going to kill people? And she's like, no, probably. No one will get hurt, probably. He lets slip that there are 2 murderers on the Undersiders.
I'm so intrigued.
But at this point in the conversation, he's just totally, talking over her. She can't ask for more clarification. And he actually starts insulting her, says he's not going to help. She's being stupid. She has delusions of grandeur. She shouldn't be doing this of her own volition. And basically says, you should tell me everything, and then you should quit or join the wards. I don't care. And Taylor she's a little unsure of what to say throughout this conversation. She's totally losing the thread. And finally she's like, but I helped you with Lung. And this makes Armsmaster even more angry. He says, you gave me a dying man! And we find out that he got in huge trouble, to the extent that they, confiscated all of his cool Tinker stuff.
Yeah.
Because he almost died. Lung almost died. And,
right, so he almost killed someone.
Right,
basically.
So he almost took credit for killing someone. And as he starts yelling about this, Taylor's like, oh, this explains why this conversation is getting off the rails.
Yeah.
And she doubles down and is honestly kind of like, you know what? I think it wasn't just my venom. I think your tranquilizers turned off his healing function. And so it's just as much your fault, if not more. And he doesn't deny it.
Yeah.
There's kind of an impasse. And he's basically like, you're on your own. And Taylor goes one step further and asks for one teeny tiny extra little favor, which is, please don't take notes, no memos, no records.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone, because she knows that Lisa has her eye on PHQ. And so if there's a report that says somebody's insinuating with the Undersiders that, of course, Tattletale
There's only one candidate, yeah.
So she's pleading, and Armsmaster is like, nope, this is on you, no promises. And Armsmaster dismisses her rudely, and Taylor takes the loss, turns the other cheek, strides away, and decides if her choice is between giving up on her plan, hanging up her costume, or proving Armsmaster wrong by pulling off this undercover gig on her own, that she, and I quote, is going to rob the hell out of that bank.
Yes!
She'd win the trust of the Undersiders, figure out who is running the show, and then hand over all the info to Miss Militia.
Not Armsmaster.
And that is the note that we end the chapter on.
Love this. He is just as much of a jerk as we thought.
Yeah, okay.
Really terrible. It was definitely his fault that Lung almost died. I hadn't thought of that tranquilizer thing. That's such a good point that she came up with. The tranquilizer stopped his healing abilities. Makes perfect sense. That's kind of how his power works.
Yeah.
He only has that ability when he's in combat.
Yeah.
If it's adrenaline related, who knows?
Yeah, and maybe his power comes with a protective cooldown if he doesn't get tranquilized.
Right, but being tranquilized, he stopped healing. That's why he almost died. So Armsmaster did almost kill him. Not through, force, but through, poorly thought out tranquilizer. And
Armsmaster, what he accuses her of is something like, you couldn't resist filling him full of all of your little bug poisons, which it doesn't ring as like a fair accusation on his part, right? It to me, that's like him looking for trying to cover up his mistake.
Trying to do character assassination in his own head.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's possible he didn't even realize that it was his tranquilizers, but once she said that, he put it together and was like, oh crap, it's my fault. Either way, he doesn't admit it.
I love that interpretation because, jumping around a little bit, but one of the things that I really like in this conversation is the way that Taylor is really, really being vague, and Armsmaster figures out that Tattletale is probably the reason.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, the Tattletale girl. Armsmaster is clearly intelligent.
Yeah.
Right? So I like that interpretation that the reason he doesn't say, nuh-uh, is because maybe Taylor is suggesting a new idea to him.
Right,
and
that
he's
hadn't
like,
occurred to him.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
he can't lose face.
He can't lose face, but I do wonder if the reasoning part of his brain, not the emotional part, is like, oh, you might have been wrong, Armsmaster. Like you built up this stupid, immature girl using her bugs wrong image in your head, and maybe she burst it just a little bit in that moment.
Yeah. Which might mean that if he goes away and cools down, he ends up with a more favorable opinion towards her. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say based on this conversation, probably not. I mean, so...
There were several moments where I was specifically like, oh, this is a bad guy. Like,
tell me more, yeah.
The moment where it says, Armsmaster talked over me until I shut my mouth and listened. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just shouting her down.
Yeah.
And he's an adult talking to a 15-year-old. Like, he doesn't need to do that. And then previous moment where he says, I'm dragging you to the PHQ, and we'll see how well you tease when you're in front of the entire team.
Yeah.
That verb is really quite telling. It's a very gendered verb.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Almost sexualized. Like, for a man to be accusing this teenage girl of being a tease with her information. Like,
yeah.
Really just a bad look. And I mean, even stripping away the sort of sexual connotation of it, it's a jerky thing to say.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it feels like a red flag, like Brian's saying, like, look what he made me do.
Yeah.
Kind of, it'll be interesting. It's not necessarily damning because people say things for lots of different reasons.
Yeah.
But I also noted that it seems gendered and that he's leaning into, I am adult man, you are a teenage girl, which means I am in complete control.
Yeah.
And you have to, I'm dominating
You're
you.
a stupid girl, a middle schooler,
A middle schooler with delusions of grandeur. What a burn.
Yeah. I do think he did have a couple of good points when he was insulting her plan. He points out that in the real world, undercover cops have handlers. They have someone to report to, someone that can call in backup at any time.
Yeah.
And she points out, if I did have backup or a handler or anything like that, they'd know, which is also true.
Yeah.
I think the way she's doing it is the only way anyone could try to infiltrate the Undersiders.
Yeah.
I do still think the points we've made in the past about, like, she's going to get emotionally too deep and not having any real-world anchor to counterbalance that is really dangerous.
Yeah.
But I do think the fact that she, I mean, leaving aside how badly this conversation went, the fact that she met with Armsmaster and is, like, filling him in on the broad strokes of the plan, and it does seem like the only reason she doesn't say more is because she doesn't know about the boundaries of Tattletale's power, and to the extent that she does, she knows that she could easily trip it by saying too much. It is possible there are other emotional things at play for her in this conversation that, like, maybe she isn't admitting or just aren't coming through the text. It doesn't feel like she's making excuses for why she can't tell him more now. It does feel like it is actually worthwhile. If she's going to do this at all, she might as well stay and try to find the boss, because the boss is, like, the real power behind this.
Well, that's interesting. There are two threads I want to pull on. One is, like, Taylor's emotional state in this conversation, but the other is, like, finding the boss. Let's talk about, like, the finding the boss thing. Like, given if Taylor could explain to a third party, not Armsmaster, to a third party about Tattletale's power and be like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going undercover, but I can't have backup, and the reason I'm doing it is just because I want to find out the identity of the secret boss, and that's worth the risk. Mm-hmm. Do you think anyone would agree with her about the risk? Like, I want to talk about why Taylor wants to do it, but, like, from a, like, Taylor presenting this plan to somebody else, like, is the secret of the mysterious boss worth doing this? Or, you know, maybe that third party, again, Armsmaster doesn't know quite all the details, but he might just say, that information isn't worth it, Taylor. What you're doing isn't worth it.
I mean, I think it is worth it.
Okay.
Like, these four villains are, you know, worth apprehending, but, like, the boss is the one who got them together, who funds them, who sends them on jobs.
Yeah.
You know, jobs they'd want to do anyway, but, like, they wouldn't be doing anything like this scale without him. And I think that the boss is tied into something bigger.
Right.
I don't think it's just that, like, some guy was like, I want a supervillain team. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Some people have sports teams. I'm going to have a supervillain team. Like, there's some ulterior motive here. Whether they're a villain or a hero or someone in some nebulous middle ground who's, like, puppet mastering stuff. Like, this boss, whoever this boss is going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be a key to so much. Just getting these four people off the streets is, like, much lower reward in the risk-reward calculation. So, like, you could argue, I mean, I think if Taylor as a 15-year-old girl was talking to any adult saying, it's worth it, most adults would be like, you need to get out of there, you're not safe. Yeah. But leaving aside the whole, she's a kid and any adult would have a responsibility to protect her. If she's talking to another kid with, like, you know, smart kid, and she's like, this is what I'm doing, they'd be like, okay, I can see your point. Like,
yeah, so she doesn't have delusions of grandeur. She,
I don't think so.
You know, is guilty, rightly, of a little bit of main character syndrome. She's the right girl in the right place, and she has an opportunity to break this huge, potentially huge secret, which will be, in all likelihood, incredibly valuable to the good guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think she's right that whoever she tells it to is going to be a major coup for them to be able to, like, bring down whoever this is. I think it's hilarious that she wants to tell Miss Militia. I don't know anything about this group of heroes. Miss Militia is the only one who, from the name, is clearly, or most likely, a woman.
Yeah.
And I think that is notable after this conversation in which this, like, grown man yelled at her and, like, you know, belittled her and used some, you know, gendered language about how she was being a tease. Like, I think possibly some of the others are female also, and possibly Miss Militia is just a guy who makes villains miss. But I do wonder if that was sort of the significance of that choice in that final line.
Well, yeah. So I want to go back then to what you were saying about, like, Taylor's emotional state.
Sure.
Right? So there, I guess I'll just pull out, like, a couple of things about it. She immediately goes to, I'm a good guy. Right? Like, that good guy is obviously doing a lot of work, but, like, that passes the lie detector test. Yeah. In case it wasn't clear from the summary, Armsmaster, he doesn't really explain it, but he basically admits that he has a lie detector. And he tells Taylor, I believe that you think you're a good guy. And when Taylor tries to be like, well, what if I told you there's a spy in the PHQ, like in the form of a question? He's like, well, you would be lying if you told me that. So, the lie detector seems to be pretty effective.
Right, he says it can be fooled. He says lie detectors can be fooled, even mine, which means it's probably pretty good.
Right. So she says she's a good guy. He's like, well, just tell me all the stuff. Let's go. And she says, I can't. She says, I can't again. And she thinks about, she's hating herself for having to say, I can't to Armsmaster. And then when he's like, let's go back to PHQ. You can meet the whole protectorate. She
loves that.
She lights up with this idea, imagining talking to them and explaining all the cool stuff she did.
Hearing their stories too.
Yeah. So she is like really, really, really in the first half of this, like you were saying, not betraying any reservations at all about going through with the insinuation. She's excited about being a good guy.
Excited about impressing the PHQ folks. Yeah. I think it's interesting, like, being a reader of this story is so different than being in Taylor's shoes. Because, of course, we're like, look at these characters. Here's our group of characters. It's a found family. They're going to hang out together. And she really has not forgotten that they're villains.
Yeah.
There's definitely some slippage. Like when she was fighting Brian, she's like, oh, it's, weird to hear him talk like this because I think of him as a nice guy, aside from his choice of career.
Yeah. The gun on the table, they're good people, I lied.
Yeah. Yeah. I am predicting that she'll have a hard time emotionally extricating herself from this situation, but she's not there yet. She's only known them for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, they are a group of friends for her in a context in which she has no friends, but she has not forgotten what she's doing there.
Yeah.
And the lure of being a good guy and getting recognition for that is still stronger for her.
And she kind of thinks about it as a trade. Right? She loses the Undersiders, but she would get this found family of the Protectorate.
Oh,
right?
You could just join the wards to...
Yeah.
I'm really worried about her wanting that, because, like, the one member of the Protectorate we've met is a real jerk.
Yeah.
And, like, some of the others might be better, but I don't know. I mean, the company you keep, like, do we think everyone else is, like, super wonderful and generous and clear-headed?
Right. Well, maybe if she'd just gotten the Armsmaster that she met the first night.
No, we already had reservations about him. It's the same one.
Got it.
It's the same one.
Okay. Armsmaster collective theory.
It's dead
after one chapter.
It was a fun theory. I don't have any reason to believe it after this.
Well, I will say it's interesting to think about the Armsmaster we met before because, like, the conversational style was so different. In that first meeting, he was a charmer.
Right.
He let Taylor open up, right? Like, he held his tongue, let her kind of, like, talk a little bit, and he was kind of, like, being very encouraging and warm. And it was obviously transactional. He wanted something from her. He guided her to a decision there.
He wanted it.
Yeah. In this conversation, his initial attitude is totally different.
Yeah, so antagonistic.
And he has no patience. There's a brief moment when he relaxes, but then he just gets more and more upset with her vagueness until it all kind of boils over when it comes to Loon. So Taylor is like letting Armsmaster kind of talk over her. She doesn't know what to say. She's hating herself for doing this. He starts yelling at her, and Taylor immediately finds her voice and starts throwing stuff back at him.
She's amazing.
Meeting him point for point. Who is this girl? Right? Where did she come from? I feel like this is a Taylor we haven't seen.
Sort of. We did see some of it versus Rachel.
That's true. That's true.
She fought back.
Yeah, more with fists that time and with words this time.
Yeah. She does have a lot of trouble finding her words. She's not consistent at it. It's not easy for her. At this point, right before he unleashes the thing about, you gave me a dying man, he has been accusing her of like this foolish plan, and she opens her mouth to try to say something and she can't put anything together, and she just shuts her mouth again. So, and she has a few other like struggles to talk. So it's not, seamless, but she can be provoked. And I think that what her bullies gave her, and we get a little more about that later, I think what the bullies gave her is the ability to choose when to unleash on someone.
Yeah.
And maybe, like we were saying, maybe she has a little bit of Danny's temper. Maybe that's what's powering her here.
Yeah.
And what the bullies taught her is how to rein it in when she knows that it's not going to be helpful, like how to kind of swallow that down. But she can still, when she thinks like, oh no, this is the right move, this makes sense, there's no reason not to, she can still let it loose.
Yeah. And connecting it to the bitch fight, when Rachel comes after her, part of the motivation, the motivation that she says for storming out afterward is, you guys invited me here and then attacked me. You betrayed me. That sucks. I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like, free license to beat Rachel up. She storms out. And the pivot here, Armsmaster makes it personal, right? Like, he loses his temper in a really unflattering way.
Yeah.
Which would be enough. But I wonder if it's, he loses his temper and he accuses her of something unfair. And she gets put back into that, no, I didn't do anything wrong. You did something wrong. Yeah. Right? Like she gets into that mindset of like, oh, now I get it.
Unjust.
You, this whole time, have been thinking of me unjustly.
Yeah.
And that gives her, a way to just commit for the rest of the argument.
And that's what we saw with Danny too, when he described his incidents of temper, like him yelling at the principal. He says he did yell at her, like, science teacher or whoever, who probably didn't deserve it. But yelling at the principal, like, it was out of, like, you guys treated my daughter wrong. You did her wrong. And when he yells at his wife when she has died, like, he's mad at her for, getting herself into the situation.
Being irresponsible.
Yeah. And so it is sort of this, like, righteous anger is what they're prone to.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, he is so clearly a bully by the end of the conversation. She makes that connection directly, and it's like, when he's like, you can go now. And she's like, oh, this sucks because, I can't really say no. Like, I have to leave. But
I'll look bad if I try to stay, but,
Right. It's like a domination exercise again.
Yeah, she says, if there was any upside to the bullying I'd endured out of costume, it was that I could handle the little maneuvers of bullies and assholes when I was in costume, too.
Yeah.
I left and didn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. That's the power that she has gained is that she has this temper that she can unleash when she feels like it's merited and there's no reason not to, but she also has the ability to swallow that down when it's not going to be helpful.
Yeah. Now, if Armsmaster was like, 20% more emotionally mature, 50% more emotionally mature, I don't know where you'd go on the slider, but if he had kept his cool, not made it personal about Lung, do you think he could have gotten Taylor on side?
That's interesting. So I think probably...
Like, the tattletale obstacle is a fixed thing.
It's a really big thing. She's not going to say... Because if she tells him anything more, basically her whole thing is over. So I think, like, if I were Armsmaster dealing with this 15-year-old, I probably wouldn't do a great job of it. But if I were someone... But if I were someone who was better at kind of taking that mental step back and figuring out how to work with someone to get everyone's best interests met, I think the way to do it would be to say, like, okay, you're doing this really dangerous thing. You're not listening to me when I ask you to come in and gain our protection or back off and, hang up the costume. It seems like I'm not going to be able to talk you out of that. How can I best support you in this so that it, doesn't go totally wrong for you? And he, of course, takes the angry route. He's like, you made your bed, you lie in it.
Right. Yeah, just by, even if he approached it as like how can I help? Even if he doesn't intend to give her permission or do anything, like, that's just a better way to
because,
keep
like
her
he said,
around.
Undercover cops have handlers. Is there a way for him to act as her handler? He didn't really explore that possibility.
Right.
Is there, like, could we meet on a regular basis and I could, at least provide you an outside contact point for this?
Right.
Like, that would really be the responsible way to do it when faced with this kid who you can't control, who's in a dangerous situation, and also could end up giving you really valuable information.
Yeah.
Like, he's really shooting himself in the foot by being like, oh, you don't want to tell us anything now? Well, then, screw you. You made your bed, you lie in it.
Yeah. No, it could just be a failure of imagination. He doesn't know about the secret boss. He doesn't know what more, he thinks they're all low-level people. Yeah. Though he was kind of like, especially interested in how elusive the Undersiders were.
Right,
at the
and
first encounter.
he's really excited. Like, as soon as she says, like, I've insinuated this gang so that I can tell you everything I know, his whole posture changes. He's excited. He's like, oh, great. Will you come and tell us now? Like, tell us everything.
If he hadn't already put her in this box of immature, overeager middle schooler, he might have been able to pick up on how excited she was about the Protectorate and kept pulling on that instead of shutting her down.
Yeah. Like, if he had been able to charm her here the way he charmed her before, he might have gotten a lot more out of her.
Yeah.
At least, I don't know if he would have gotten more information in this meeting, because she was pretty firm on not wanting to say more, and she doesn't seem like someone who's going to just be, like, swayed by the lure of, like, oh, but I could just tell him something, maybe it would be fine. Like, I think her will is stronger than that.
Yeah. I 100% agree with her about the no records thing. I don't know if she's right about I can't even tell you it's Tattletale. I can't even tell you about the secret boss. She's taking a very, very cautious approach, which I think is reasonable. Yeah, but I don't know if she's right about that.
I think it's probable that if Tattletale's power got out, if she realized people knew about her power, she would be able to figure out who's told someone about it. Like, she'd be able to figure out why.
Oh, right.
Because that's not the inside of someone's head. That's like a chain of events. That's the kind of thing that she sees.
The same week she brought Taylor on board, Armsmaster found out. There's a lot of dots that are going to get connected.
Yeah. Even without the whole same week thing, I think it's the kind of information she'd be able to know anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I am so excited to talk about who the murderers are.
Ooh, murderer list.
So first of all, really unreliable narrator here. Like, we're hearing this from Armsmaster, who is a jerk who maligns people in his own head and is not inclined towards charitable interpretations.
Sure.
So we don't actually know that anyone in the Undersiders murdered anyone. There could be two people who died as a result of something related to two of the Undersiders.
Doesn't Taylor say, like, I could imagine Rachel at least manslaughter?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like, she's already thinking about that.
Yeah, yes. I don't think it's Rachel.
Ooh, full red herring.
Rachel is too obvious.
Got it.
She jumps to Rachel. I don't think it is.
But that means two of the other Undersiders are murderers.
I think it has to be Brian. Brian is the person who it would be most upsetting to learn it about, because he's the person who she has the strongest connection with.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we don't know that this was like cold-blooded murder. We don't even know that it was like there was wrongdoing involved. Yeah. But there could have been. I think Brian, he's the one who's best at combat.
Yeah.
He has clearly been in a lot of fights. He's been, doing villain activities for a long time, sort of petty criminal stuff.
Yeah.
He definitely could have been connected to a death. Caused a death, on purpose, not on purpose, didn't actually cause it, but was near it. Like, all of those things are very easy to imagine for Brian. Yeah. And I think it's not going to be completely oh no, it was the person next to me who killed them. I just happened to be standing there. Like, I think he's going to have some blame, because that would be the
You don't
most
necessarily
upsetting.
trust Armsmaster, but it does feel like this is going to be meaningful stakes for Taylor.
Yes. So, from the other two, I mean, Rachel does seem like a reasonable candidate, but just because she jumped to Rachel and because Rachel is just too obvious, I think it is more interesting if it's one of the other two. So, Alex seems slightly more likely to me just, in a vacuum, because he has a power that actually affects people's bodies. If we think about, okay, if it was him, it would be really interesting if, he had... He seems kind of like a sort of, a careless guy. His power's not that well controlled. He can sort of make people mess up, but he doesn't have, fine-grained control over what he makes them do. He could definitely have moved someone's body, messed them up in a way that resulted in their death, probably not on ppurpose.
Yeah, fall into the street.
Exactly, in front of a car, fall off a building, fall to a wood chipper. Yeah, I don't think it's I accidentally stopped their heart or something, because I think if he had that level of power, he'd be a lot more cautious about using his own. If he did do something that resulted in someone's death, psychologically, I could see that sort of resulting in the attitude that he has now, where he's just I don't care about anything. Nothing really matters. I'm just here to have fun. Because he can't let himself deal with the fact that he killed someone.
Got it. Yeah.
So that feels fairly plausible to me. I do feel like this is a gang of 2 guys and 2 girls. Having the 2 guys be the murderers feels a little pat. It feels a little Like, for that reason alone, I'm inclined to think it's not both Brian and Alec.
Okay.
And I do think it's Brian just because it's got to be Brian for that emotional sucker punch.
Yeah, yeah.
In which case, it would have to be Brian and Lisa.
Her two faves.
They are the two people in the gang who we like the best, who she likes the best, the two most sympathetic figures.
And Tattletale does not have a combat power.
No.
So that would almost be the most shocking.
She would be the most surprising, which is another reason to think it should be her, because let's go with the most surprising option. And which does lead to the question of, like, what on earth did she do that would result in someone's death? And, I mean, it could be something just like, maybe she actually straight up murdered someone.
Yeah.
Maybe she knew something about what someone had done that led her to believe that she should murder them.
Oh,
maybe she was in a bad situation. She is not someone from whom we've seen a lot of emotional depth at this point. She's pretty much been happy, chill, going with the flow, like...
Yeah.
She's definitely the cheerfulest of the Undersiders thus far, and we haven't seen other sides of her.
Yeah.
She didn't really react to any of the, like, Rachel Taylor fighting. Like, we've seen some dark sides of Brian. We've seen some sort of annoying sides of Alec. We haven't really seen any dark sides of Lisa at all. She's maybe a little impulsive, maybe a little careless, more careless than Brian would prefer. But we don't really know that side of her. It's possible that it's a lot more robust than we think. And that her sort of cheerfulness is just not the full picture. Yeah, there could be many different backstories that involve her killing someone, letting them die.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So they're all murderers, but probably not Rachel? Is that what we're going with?
I think right now, if I had to bet, I'd say Brian and Lisa.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's Taylor going to take that?
I think that emotionally it'll be a blow to her, but she would remember that, like, right, these are villains.
Right. Might depend if she figures out both at once, right? Because you might learn, we might find out who one murderer is now, and then it could be chapters and chapters.
It's so true.
You know.
And, like, right now, if she found it out, she'd be like, right, bad guys. She would see them differently.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would be that hard for her to believe.
Yeah.
Harder with Lisa. I think she's just less plausible.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would be that deep and emotional blow, but, like, she's only going to get more attached, I think. So, we'll see. I hope you're having fun with this.
So much fun. I think the listeners are going to love that you have a theory for and against every Undersider being a murderer.
Yeah.
I think this is primo inchworm content.
Yeah. The thing with Rachel, another reason it shouldn't be Rachel, in addition to just, like, she's too obvious, if she had killed someone, like, everyone would know. Like, her activities were so public.
Well, she did have the like, she was unique with the thing on Parahumans Online. Like, this person is very violent and dangerous.
Right, and that's based on her, what she, like, burned down a building, or, like, destroyed a building, like, injured some people. Then there was, like, led people on a chase throughout Maine. Like, if she'd also killed someone, that would have been in the article.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to think, there's no reason
Taylor would
they
already
would hide it.
Yeah.
If Armsmaster knows, like, it's not like, why would he keep that information private? Like, probably other people know. It would be, it would have been in the article.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think she is the least likely for both narrative and just, like, what we know so far reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much all that I've got. I feel like I've talked a lot.
That's great. I have one thing, which is actually a moment from last chapter. I feel like I haven't been highlighting some of my, like, favorite visual moments as much.
Ooh, okay.
So I just wanted to read, this whole conversation takes place in the upper level of the abandoned ferry terminal, but looking out over the PHQ on Brockton Bay. So I just want to read the description of the PHQ so people can picture it. It was one of the best vantage points for seeing the PHQ in all its splendor. The headquarters was a series of arches and spires mounted on a retrofitted oil rig. Even the platform it was built on was beautiful, though, with hard edges and sweeping lines. The entire thing was lit up by tinted spotlights and set against a faint corona of shifting colors, like the aurora borealis trapped in the shape of a soap bubble. A force field, forever on, shielding the people who watched over Brockton Bay.
So actually, it's an interesting question. Which of these people, because it seems like it's Armsmaster, Miss Militia, Triumph, Velocity, Dauntless, Battery, and Assault. Which of them is a force field generator?
Oh.
Presumably they didn't get like someone else to come in and do their force field, and it's not part of this.
Yeah, that's
branch
interesting.
Of the protectorate.
Yeah, I mean, we don't... What do you...
I think Dauntless.
Dauntless?
Yeah.
That's cool. I was just going to say, what do you know about Armsmaster as a tinker?
Oh,
he has a halberd.
He could make
right?
a force
So I was
field
going to say, we don't really know. That's another piece that we have.
But we know Narwhal makes force fields.
Correct.
Narwhal, who presumably isn't local.
And I think, is Triumph the one who recently graduated?
Yes.
Right, so probably not Triumph.
Right, because the force field's been there for a while. Yeah.
Though who knows?
Velocity. Someone who makes force fields wouldn't be called Velocity. Battery and Assault both sound more like offensive than defensive.
Sure. Yeah.
Capes.
You could charge a force field with a battery.
That's true. You could withstand a battery.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
But Dauntless feels like there's sort of a general aura of strength, like that could lend itself to force fields.
Good theory.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything else except for two
more
names.
Yay. I know they're gonna like thin out as we go forward, and I'm sad about that.
Yeah. That's a thing to think.
There are only so many capes, Ted.
Sure, yeah.
Before you do that, I should predict, I don't think Armsmaster is going to, at least not in the near future, leave any records of her, tell anyone about the
Right,
meeting.
he left that ambiguous, but you don't think...
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would just be anticlimax. Like...
If they go to the bank and Armsmaster's standing there and they all get arrested, right? Like, that's not fun.
That's not fun, yeah. So it could come back to bite her later. I mean, certainly we'll see more interactions with Armsmaster later.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to successfully find out who the boss is and then manage to say everything to Miss Militia. Like, that just... I don't think her plan is going to succeed that cleanly.
That's interesting.
I do think she'll find out who the boss is, but I think that will open up a whole new can of worms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Miss Militia is the boss. That's probably the least likely, since the boss is a man, as far as we know. But,
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So names.
Names.
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker. Ooh. I mean, I really want that to be someone who literally can stop your heart. Like Alex's power, but... I mean, what a limited power. You can just stop someone's heart. I mean, you could basically end any fight with anyone.
I mean, that's a really interesting... It's sort of extreme lethality in a way that we haven't seen before.
Right, but you could also stop someone's heart and then start it again. Like, it's just that you could, like, knock them out.
Yeah.
Right, it doesn't feel like a very flexible power. But possibly this is just someone who's mentioned in the background as, like, this one person with this weird power to stop people's hearts. It's also possible that this is sort of like a heartthrob type of cape, like sort of a, who's the Harry Potter, like Lockhart, Gilderoy Lockhart character, who's like just dazzling and sort of has Glory Girl's aura power. That's like his main power, or her main power, I guess. It feels like the kind of name that would belong to a man.
Okay.
Now I'm rethinking that. It's Heartbreaker?
Heartbreaker.
Yeah. Like, just makes everyone fall in love with them.
Yeah.
That would be very powerful.
Yeah, so a man who either can kill anyone by stopping their heart or can make anyone fall in love with them. Both pretty strong powers.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Next up, Nilbog.
Nilbog. How do you spell that?
Nilbog.
Well, that's what I would have guessed. What language does that sound like? It sounds almost like Scandinavian, maybe?
Yeah, interesting. Do you want a tiny little clue? Or
oh, sure. Is there like a dot over the O?
No, just I'll note that Nilbog is goblin, spelled backwards.
Oh, okay. So it's probably not another language. It's probably just goblin spelled backwards. I think this is someone who can like climb walls, sort of almost like a Spider-Man set of powers.
Okay.
Like, can creep around places and climb up ceilings and sort of lurk in the shadows.
Okay.
Like extreme dexterity, maybe.
Extreme dexterity, kind of stealthy.
Yeah.
Kind of Spider-Man-y.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Wonder how they're going to fit into what I assume is the beginning of the bank heist. I mean, I'm sorry. The bank robbery. It's different.
The bank robbery. Gonna rob the hell out of that bank.
Yeah, she is. Next time.
On Inchworm. Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae. You can read Worm at parahumans.wordpress.com and support the author at patreon.com/wildvote. Follow us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Inchworm Podcast, or find our Discord link and any other updates on inchwormpodcast.com.